Yanqing is really easy to build in Honkai Star Rail, and in this video, I'm going to tell you why. So, in my opinion at least, I think Yanqing is probably the most underrated 5-star character, even though he is able to do some good damage, and he is very easy to build compared to some other 5-stars, which I'll go into later on in the video. But to start out here, I do want to go over his kit. Mainly, his skill, his ultimate, and his talent, and talking about how, that all works together. So, his skill deals ice damage to a single enemy, and it activates Soul Steel Sync for 1 turn. And, we'll get more into what Soul Steel Sync actually means for him in his ultimate and talent, because it does give him a good amount of benefits. Then, for his ultimate, he gets a 60% boost to his crit rate for 1 turn, and if Soul Steel Sync is active, he'll also get a 30% crit damage boost for that same 1 turn, and deals damage to 1 enemy with the ultimate, which is really good because, if you're getting 60% crit rate, even if you only built a little bit of crit rate on him, you should still be critting on that ultimate most of the time, which is really good for his damage, especially since, he is going to be a DPS character. Then, for his talent pretty much just goes into everything else that Soul Steel Sync does. So, firstly, when Soul Steel Sync is active, it is going to lower his taunt value and make him less likely to be attacked by enemies, which is really good because one of 2 ways that Soul Steel Sync goes away is if Yanqing takes any damage. So, yeah, lowering his chances of being attacked is very good for that, so that he's not taking damage, so he can keep all of his benefits from Soul Steel Sync up. Then, he, based on the level of the talent, he'll increase his crit rate and crit damage while Soul Steel Sync is active. So including that with his ultimate is also very good. Then, it also gives him a chance to perform a follow-up attack, and the follow-up attack has a 65% base chance to freeze, which is, pretty solid, I'd say, at least from the Yanqing gameplay I've seen, since I don't have him myself. I have seen this follow-up attack freeze a decent amount of the time, so it is also very good, and they do take a percentage of Yanqing's attack at the start of their next turn once enemies have been frozen, so it's also really nice. So yeah, the 2 ways, as I kind of alluded to before, that the Soul Steel Sync can go away is either if that 1 turn passes, although for that you can just keep it up by using his skill every turn that he's up, or if he takes damage. So, now to get into why he's so easy to build, it's because when you're looking at DPS characters, and, more specifically Hunt characters, because he is on the Hunt path, a lot of the time, you gotta focus on building, a good amount of crit rate, a good amount of crit damage, and, really focus your relics on those, which, if you do that for Yanqing, he'll be able to do even more damage, right? But because he's getting a good amount of crit rate and crit damage just built into his kit, from his talent and just the Soul Steel Sync mechanic on his kit, he doesn't need to have as high requirements for crit rate and crit damage for you to be able to have a Yanqing that's going to be outputting some good damage. And that makes it a lot easier for people to have a pretty good Yanqing earlier on, because I feel like even with relics that are just okay, with the crit rate and crit damage he's going to get through his kit, he is going to be able to perform very well. But I do want to caution people that I do recommend, if you're going to use Yanqing, I definitely recommend having a shield character on your team, because you do want to prevent Yanqing from taking damage as much as possible. And, despite, Soul Steel Sync making it less likely for them to attack him, AoE attacks are still a thing, so you could get screwed over in that sense. But if you do have a shielder, if you're using Japard, March 7th, Fire Trailblazer, you'll be able to, have a shielding Yanqing, so he won't actually take damage when he gets hit. And, him getting hit isn't what removes the Soul Steel Sync, it's him taking damage. So even if he gets a hit with a shield, he'll still have it, which is really nice. So overall, even with all these DPS options coming out, I know we have some insane options, in the game recently, like Blade and Imbibitor Lunae. I know Jingliu is a destruction character, so she'll likely be a DPS as well. Topaz is a hunt character, so she'll also be a DPS. So, we'll see what's going to happen with DPSs, but even with all of those in the game, or like coming to the game, because of how easy it is to get your Yanqing going and getting him to be able to do some good damage, it definitely is a really good character to recommend. Because, yeah, ultimately, if you're going to, like, especially for newer players, right? If you're starting a new account and you're, trying to get your damage up, if you pull Yanqing, you don't have to put too much effort in early on. And a lot of the times early on, you're not going to be able to put effort into, like, relics and stuff like that. So just having him being a very free-to-play, friendly option, and just a good option for, building a quick character, I do think he's extremely valuable. But with that, everyone, thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, definitely be sure to like the video, comment what you think about Yanqing, if you have your Yanqing built, all that kind of stuff. Be sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that fun stuff, and I will see you all next time.